We know some folks are still coming in from the waiting room. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. My name is Brianna Montecalvo, and I am an admission advisor here at the Office of Admission. I was also so excited to work on this project, the college tour that features the University of Rhode Island. And today we have three of the stars of the show. You might have seen them on Amazon Prime, Roku, or kind of online in your streaming service. But tonight, you all are going to get to ask Alana, Sarah, and Peyton some awesome questions. You'll get to watch their segment to refresh about the really cool opportunities, and then we'll be able to do a Q&A at the end. I have some questions, but feel free to think of questions as we play their segment, and feel free to utilize the chat box to correspond, and we'll get to those towards the end. And so we're going to start tonight with Peyton's segment. So Peyton, I'll turn it over to you to introduce yourself.
Nice. My information's all right there. Hi, everybody. My name is Peyton Teal. I am a junior data science major from Meriden, Connecticut. And I have some minors in public relations and leadership studies. So this is what this whole segment is pretty much about, is my leadership experience at URI.
Awesome. All right. And so we'll be able to watch Peyton's segment. Peyton, just confirm with me that you can hear it right when I hit play, okay? Oops. Didn't work. There we go.
Yeah, I can hear it.
All right, everyone. Enjoy Peyton's segment.
It's time to meet an excellent campus leader named Peyton, who is a junior from Connecticut. Peyton has really evolved during his time at URI, and a lot of it has to do with the leadership experience he got and the mentors he met along the way. URI's Leadership Institute works with first-year students who have leadership and service potential, with the hope that these students will become active members of the URI community. With over 100 students participating annually, URI is surely breeding amazing leaders. Let's hear from one right now. On to you, Peyton.
Thanks, Alex. My trajectory was forever changed from my leadership experiences at URI. This all started before my first year even began at a 2-day program called the URI Leadership Institute. As an incoming student, I knew no one at URI. But during this program, I was able to meet over 100 other first-year students who were in the same boat as me, such as one of my best friends and current roommates, Emmett. We participated in critical discussion, team building activities, as well as most importantly, interacted with current URI students that served as peer leaders for the program. These peer mentors showed me a variety of ways to get involved at URI, as well as the confidence I needed to pursue these opportunities. Lindsay encouraged me to join Rotaract Club, an organization dedicated to local service. It was there I found my passion for servant leadership and giving back to others. Brian guided me through the process of applying to be an orientation leader, so I can now help other first-year students navigate their first experiences at URI. Lindsay and Brian were both peer mentors who soon became my friends and colleagues. They made me realize my potential and all the untapped energy I never knew I had in high school. This fall, I'll be able to have a full circle moment as a peer leader for incoming students at this year's Leadership Institute. Another huge experience that added to my leadership journey was participating in one of URI's alternative spring break trips, or ASB for short. In March 2020, I traveled to New Orleans to help assist with natural disaster relief, assist with food insecurity, as well as learn more about the background of this historic city. Through ASB, I was able to participate in amazing service activities, such as working in gardens at a charter school, sorting beads after Mardi Gras for recycling, as well as passing out meals at the food bank. I also learned about how Hurricane Katrina impacted the people of New Orleans until this day, along with how to drywall a home for a family that lost theirs through the natural disaster. These experiences opened my eyes to the various adversities people continuously face around the world and how I can continue to create positive change. Through these various organizations, I was nurtured to grow, all while continuously being supported by my amazing peers, professors, and faculty. I believe one of the greatest things URI has to offer are the people that are a part of its community. My involvement here at URI has given me the opportunity to genuinely feel for the first time in my life that I'm surrounded by people who truly value me. That will forever be something I am grateful for. Well, that's my story. Alex, back to you.
Thanks, Peyton. It's incredible that all your amazing experiences have happened in your first 2 years at URI, and we can't wait to see what's next.
Awesome. So that was Peyton's segment, and now we're going to transition over to Sarah's segment. Sarah, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, totally. Hi, everyone. My name is Sarah. I did my undergrad at URI and studied marine bio, and I just graduated in May of 2021. And I'm currently a grad student here studying environmental science and management, hoping to go into environmental education after I graduate in this May of 2022. Really excited. And I'm from Hopatcong, New Jersey. And my segment is about an ocean of opportunity. So about some of the internships that I had and some of the experiential education things that I got to do during my time at URI.
Awesome. And so now let's watch Sarah's segment.
We are about to meet Sarah, one of the 2,256 graduate students at URI. Sarah, from New Jersey, studied marine biology here and is now entering her one-year master's program at URI. Let's go hear from Sarah, who is on the Captain Burt boat, a URI research vessel, about her experiences with the sea.
Thank you, Alex, and ahoy there, everyone. I got my start at the University of Rhode Island as a marine biology major, and now I'm here continuing my education as a master's student studying environmental science and management. Today, I'm going to be talking to you all about how college education is more important than just learning skills for a job. Learning outside of the classroom is just as important in helping to elevate your goals. My first semester here, I was lucky to have Dr. Bradley Weatherby as my URI 101 professor. Dr. Weatherby is one of the best shark researchers in New England, and at the end of my class with him, I asked if he had any openings in his lab on campus. He had a few students graduating from his lab, so I was able to jump right into tracking sharks off the coast of Rhode Island, California, and Mexico as soon as my second semester here. I even got to take some trips out of the marina to tag sharks myself along with a few other students. In January of 2020, I participated in a J-term course led by Dr. Graham Forrester and Katie Nichols in Bonaire, which is a little island off the coast of Venezuela. This was a coral reef conservation scuba diving course where we got to dive 3 times a day for 2 weeks. We actually got to spend a little over 21 hours underwater throughout the class. We learned all sorts of things like diver impacts on the reef, fish counting, and the difference between marine protected areas versus non-protected areas. My knowledge of corals skyrocketed after this course, and I was able to learn many different species of corals as well as some diseases that take over those corals. And it really helped me to delve into what I want to do post-graduation. 2 summers ago, I held an environmental education internship at a place called the Wetlands Institute in Stone Harbor, New Jersey. This internship was 13 weeks long, and I learned that not only do I love the research aspect of marine biology, but I also love being able to spark an interest in marine life in young children and adults. Being able to see people's faces light up when they learned something new or got to hold an animal from one of our touch tanks and learning stations was something quite amazing. I got to practice my public speaking and communication skills by running all the educational programming throughout the Institute, and this really helped show me all the opportunities that are waiting for me once I cross the stage with my master's degree at graduation next year. The hands-on experiences that I've had during my time at URI will have lasting impacts on my career as I continue my work and studies in marine biology. Without URI, I wouldn't have been able to challenge myself through travel, classes, internships, and other experiential learning opportunities that will make me an overall better environmentalist. That's my story so far at URI, and I can't wait to see how the rest of it unfolds. Back to you, Alex.
Thanks, Sarah. You really had so many hands-on learning experiences that propelled you to the next step in your journey at URI. Tagging sharks, educating young people, and traveling to Bonaire have all definitely shaped your journey. More than 6,700 students participate annually in experiential learning, and the work they do outside of the classroom changes their trajectory. Just take it from Sarah. Thanks again for that.
Awesome. And now we have our third panelist, Alana Parrott, who's going to introduce herself. And her section is about a creative mindset. So Alana, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Brianna. So hello, everyone. My name is Alana Parrott, as you can see on the screen. I am a theater major. I'm originally from Webster, Massachusetts. For those of you who don't know, that is a small town with the longest lake name in the country, Lake Chagagagagagog, Manchakagog, Chabanagagамag. Look it up, it's real. I am a senior. I am, as I mentioned, a theater major with a concentration in acting and directing. And the segment that you're going to see is basically the majority of the stuff I do in the theater department specifically, just to showcase all the possibilities and opportunities you can have.
Awesome. Let's watch Alana's segment and then we'll be able to do our Q&A after.
It's time to head over to the Robert E. Will Theater, where we'll meet senior Alana. Alana's always been in love with the theater and has dreams to be on Broadway. She is getting that foundation at URI through her work in the classroom, outside of the classroom, and research experience at this major research institution. Students at URI are able to pursue their dreams, whether that be in STEM programs, business, education, or the arts. No student's dream is too big or small. URI students can literally do it all. Let's head over to Alana and learn more about her story.
Thanks, Alex. My time at URI has been anything but traditional, which is only fitting with my major in theater and my passion for the performing arts. As a theater major, I love to flex my creativity both on and off stage. Lots of people, both peers and professors, have helped me to progress with my talents in ways I never could have imagined. My URI 101 professor, David Howard, who is the chair of the theater department, is my biggest supporter and cheerleader. He's there for me with opportunities, encouragement, and advice to keep me going. Rachel Walsh, one of my directing professors, always reminds me to shoot for the stars. She encouraged me to apply for one of the most incredible experiences I had at URI, which was a week-long regional theater competition, the Kennedy Center American College Theater Festival, KCACTF. Through KCACTF, I competed in a leadership program entitled Aspire. During my time in Aspire, I met amazing creative artists just like me and created my own season of plays. My season of plays was entitled Black History Year and consisted of a series of plays all from Black playwrights that followed American history through the Black perspective in order to further unify Black history as American history. This is a passion of mine due to the lack of representation of Black playwrights that I've experienced within my own life. I became a finalist for Aspire, and most importantly, this experience inspired me to keep fighting for equity and inclusion in theater. Beyond researching and creating, I was able to showcase my performing skills in the spring of 2021 as the lead in our production of Miss Nelson is Missing. This was such a special experience since we were able to record the production and then stream it to over 450 classrooms. Never mind our friends and family who watched it from home, making it our largest audience at URI. During these challenging and uncertain times, the arts aren't always prioritized. Through URI Theater, we were able to come together as a community and use the arts to lift people up. I can't help but think that if it was not for the amazing people and experiences I had at URI, I would not be the same person I am today telling you this story. So thank you for letting me share my story with you. That's a wrap, Alex.
Thanks, Alana. You are so talented and really set the stage on fire. Hearing about your experience at the Kennedy Center American College Theater Festival was awesome. Being able to put all the skills you learned from your professors and classmates into action really paid off. It's clear that your research is making a big, big impact. I know we'll see you on Broadway one day soon. Take care.
Awesome. All right, so you all got to know our student panelists a little bit better. Hopefully you really enjoyed. Just to give you all some background info, that was filmed last summer, so we have some catching up to do with our panelists so you can see how graduate school's been going for Sarah, what senior year looks like for Alana, and what Peyton's been doing, because I'm sure he's gotten a lot more leadership experience since we stopped filming. And so, like I mentioned, I have a couple of questions for our panelists to kick us off. But if you do have any questions, it could be about their experiences they talked about, or really anything about URI in general. We have some seasoned students here. Feel free to drop that in the chat and we can weave those into our conversation today. But first, I think we'll kick off with Sarah. And so, Sarah, do you want to share with us what graduate school is like? When you were filming this, you were anticipating what that was going to look like. Do you want to share how you've been able to get some really cool hands-on learning stuff? I know you mentioned you were finishing up a research paper, so feel free to share.
Yeah, totally. So I'm in a pretty cool program right now where I was able to start taking grad classes while I was finishing up my undergrad degree.
Oh, I'm just watching something. I was able to join some.
And so it's a really cool kind of transition because I got to take a few classes before I got into really grad school and kind of got my feet a little bit wet. But since starting, I've really had like an eye-opening moment, and grad school is totally different than undergrad. It's a lot more flexible. And so I'm able to really choose classes that I'm super interested in, things like storytelling for the environment. And I can take classes like scuba diving and count it towards my grad credits too, which is really, really amazing. And I've also gotten to be involved in a few other things. Like I just started writing for our newspaper, and I started diving at the Mystic Aquarium now for scientific diving and kind of cleaning some tanks there. So it's been really fun. And it's been a busy year so far.
Awesome. Thanks, Sarah. Peyton, how about you? I know when we filmed, it was during orientation for our first year incoming class, but Leadership Institute happened and I'm sure a whole other thing. So what's been new in your world? You want to share how some of those went?
Yeah, so the segment was filmed in the summer, and that was during orientation. So I served as an orientation leader for incoming first year students during that summer. So just showing them around campus, like getting them acclimated, like literally just being a mentor to them as they come into this completely new area, and just easing their worries, answering their questions. So that was a really, really fun experience. And then I talked about in the segment about Leadership Institute, which is like the foundation of my college career and everything that I've accomplished so far. So I got to serve as a peer leader for Institute. It was like before the last fall started, so after orientation. So while my first year, I came in as an incoming first year student, attended Leadership Institute, got to work with all these mentors and met this great group of people. And then now, after that summer happened, I got to actually lead the groups. I got to just work hands-on with these new students who entered the program. And basically it came full circle, like all of the people that supported me to become the person I am right now. I got to step into that role for new students coming into the program. So like I said, it was just a full circle moment. And it was just a great way to just continue to give back. And hopefully the people that I led step into the position that I once in, it just keeps on going. So that's why I do a lot of the things I do, just to continue the cycle, and just continue to make an impact that I got my first year. So that's what I'm doing now. Also, this semester, I'm training new tour guides as a tour guide trainer. So that's another leadership opportunity that I found myself in. It's been a ton of fun. It's super, super fulfilling. So it just keeps continuing, and I'm really getting after it.
Awesome. I actually dropped the link in the chat for our Leadership Institute. So if you are a student that's admitted and you are planning on joining us at URI, this would be an amazing opportunity to participate in, just like Peyton did. The registration is available. You can meet the team. There are some videos on that website, so definitely check it out if it's something that you think you'd be interested in. It's a really great opportunity to meet people before you even begin, just like Peyton mentioned. And so now I want to catch up with Alana. Alana, what's been new? Are you in any new shows on campus? It's senior year. What's coming up for you?
Oh my gosh. Well, I'll say yes, I'm in a show at the moment. That's like the big thing. If you can see, my hair is rainbow. It's for the show. So if you haven't seen it, highly recommend. We just opened this past week, and so we're also open. This is going to be our last week, open Thursday through Sunday. Thursday through Saturdays at 7:30, and Sunday is at 2. But I'm currently cast in It Is Twelfth Night by William Shakespeare. We have a really fun approach to it. There's disco balls. It's a really fun time. This past semester, fall semester, I actually competed in the KCACTF, Kennedy Center American Theater, American College Theater Festival again. This time, instead of the leadership program, I was competing for acting. And I actually made it, I shouldn't say actually, but I was a finalist. So like the top like 20 out of like 200. So I made it as a finalist, yay. Super exciting. Oh goodness. What else has happened this senior year?
How's your research going?
Oh yes, so the research is a continual process. Yeah, at the moment, especially like over the summer, a lot of my plans changed from my like initial like draw out plan. And so at the moment, me and my mentor, Rachel Walsh, we're currently working on like a better way to pursue it. Because over the summer I was supposed to go see these shows and it didn't work out. But the great thing about these research grants, you have legit like a whole year to get it done. So even though it didn't go as planned, I still have all the resources and I still have time to get it sorted out, which is super duper exciting for me.
Yeah, I love that. A common misconception is that research funding and grants are only given to students in the STEM field. And while that's absolutely true that we do fund STEM research, Sarah's a great example of that. Students that are involved in the arts, as well as maybe different disciplines like the communication studies, maybe the social sciences, they're also able to pursue any research opportunities. And so we try to really disperse those funds pretty evenly. So if you have a passion or an interest, you can work with a professor that can kind of mentor you. You could be in our honors program and be able to kind of run your own research project. And so there are a lot of really cool opportunities there. And I think Alana is like a great example. And Sarah, it looks like you have a question in here. So what would you say your favorite study abroad or internship opportunity was?
I would say this past summer I had a pretty cool opportunity. I got to live out on Block Island, which is a little tiny island off of the coast of Rhode Island. It's about 15 miles off the coast of Rhode Island, and it's only about 7 miles long. So I just had like a little bike out there and got to bike around. And I worked at an aquarium that was 5 large outdoor tanks. And so it was really incredible. I just got to be outside all summer long and teaching about all the different things that lived in the Great Salt Pond and in the ocean out there. And it was really, really awesome to be able to educate all these young kids and do squid dissections. And it was just a really fun experience. So I'd say that's definitely my favorite.
Awesome. That was also so cool. Block Island is a beautiful place. If you haven't been able to visit it, some of our students will go in the springtime when the weather gets really nice, or it's a popular summer destination. So if you are visiting in the summer, it's a great place for you and your families to kind of go and just escape a little, as I like to say. But feel free to keep your questions coming. But I'd love to turn it over to any of our 3 panelists now to say perhaps some of the best advice that you might have coming in for first-year students. We have a graduate student here, a junior and a senior, so some really seasoned students. Any advice you have for students that are just starting the process or that are admitted and are really weighing their options, because this is a big decision that they all make. So I'll turn it over to any of the 3 panelists. Feel free to speak on this.
I can go first.
Sure.
This is just some advice just from my own experience, because I know a lot of people like the college admissions process is like such a stress, and making that decision is such a big one, just like you said, Brianna. So my main advice is I would say I never expected to come to URI. I really had this dream school in mind, and it was a school in the state where I'm from in Connecticut. And I went on tour there in high school, and I like, this is the place I'm going to end up. Like, I love everything about it. I love the campus. This is where I see myself for the next 4 years. And that just didn't happen. I had a lot of things to think about with financials, location, all the things that go into the decision. And I've never really thought of URI at the time. But my dad said, hey, like I applied, I'd gotten in, never looked into it. My dad said, hey, let's go to the welcome day. Instantly fell in love with the campus there. I didn't expect to have a deposit that same day on the drive home, but that's exactly what happened. And so basically what this whole preface is, what I'm trying to get at here is like, I've had the absolute time of my life at URI, and it's not the school that I have ever expected to go to. all throughout high school. So no matter where you end up, there are going to be so many opportunities for you to feel like you belong and feel like it's your home. Like I said, didn't expect to come here, but it's been such an amazing experience. So just to sort of ease that stress of like, am I going to pick the right school? Even though if it doesn't feel like it at first, then it's going to work out in the end, no matter where you are. So hopefully that helps some people out.
Yeah. And if you are an admitted student, or if you have decided that you're joining us at URI, I just dropped the link in the chat so you can learn a little bit more about Welcome Day, which is that event Peyton was talking about. And that event is geared towards admitted students, as well as students that might have made that big decision and want to come and meet future Rotary Rams before our orientation program this upcoming summer, where you'd also get to see Peyton again. And so feel free to take a look at that website, register for a date that works for you and your family, and we'd love to see you there. Sarah or Lana, any advice or thoughts on this process, and if you remember back in your days?
Yeah, I have a lot of similarities with Peyton, actually. I'm from Massachusetts, as I mentioned before, and URI, like I did not plan to go to URI. Similar to Peyton, I had a college in my home state that I thought was like, okay, this is meant to be, this is happening. And then I didn't get accepted there. And I remember being like, oh, what do I do? But I did have a friend tell me to apply to URI. And then I actually had the opportunity to come to campus for, the event's called Multicultural Overnight Program. So it's for out-of-state students who identify as like multicultural in any way, shape, or form. And you essentially get to stay overnight and in a dorm, and you get to basically feel what it's like to be an admitted student, which I had such an amazing experience with. Like, going into it, I had never gone on a tour at URI. I had never experienced URI besides the virtual tour. And then so going into it, I remember legit coming out of like the old Welcome Center, like through what felt like the woods, because I didn't know where I was going, but it wasn't the woods. But I remember like walking through and just having this overwhelming feeling of just like being comfortable and safe and like home. And then I met people, and then I started to like talk to people who are already here, and I started to just really vibe with the people that were there. And so I would say, echoing what Peyton was saying, definitely, like, for me, it was a feeling. So that's the advice I'm gonna give, like the feeling that you have. I remember after that like night of me sleeping over, I was like, I am sleeping over because the people here are just so amazing and they made me feel at home. And that was a feeling that I couldn't replicate anywhere else. So for me, I would say go off the feeling. Like, there are so many factors that play into it that might even like not be the reason like that you want to go there, you know? So I would say like it's your life. And like, so definitely assess how you feel when you're at the campus and like looking around, how everything and everyone makes you feel. Especially, I would advise going on a day where there isn't necessarily like, well, I would say like, if there's also like, I would advise like going to like a tour guide event if you can, or like some type of welcome event, but also if you can go to campus when there isn't an event like that, just to get a feel for the people, just on an every day to day. I would highly recommend. But like I said, baseline feeling, go with how you feel. I'm a very intuitive person, so that is my advice.
I love that. Sarah?
Yeah, I totally echo that, Alana. Like, it sounds so cheesy too. When I was touring schools, I remember they were always like, oh, you're gonna know like when you feel home. And it sounds so cheesy, but you really do like feel something different when you get there. And like, if any of you guys have the chance to come and tour, or even just come and, like Alana said, and walk around on campus, totally recommend that. No matter what school you're looking at, because you can really get a feel for the school that way. But kind of flash forward a little bit, once you choose your school, getting involved is my number one advice. That's just like the easiest way to make friends and the best way to kind of find your place on campus, and it'll make you feel more at home that way. And so just finding your group or finding a club or organization that you kind of resonate with is definitely my number one advice for getting out and finding your home and really finding your place on campus.
That's awesome. Thank you all so much. We know it's a big decision. Those admitted students have until May 1 to make that decision. And by coming on one of our welcome days, you can even come the Friday and kind of do what Alana suggested. Come check out the campus on a Friday. There are local hotels nearby, so if time allows, you would be able to stay overnight and then join us for an all-day visit on Saturday or Sunday, depending on the day you choose. And during that, that's where you can meet some of our student organizations. You can sign up for the Leadership Institute. Our Fine Arts Center will be open, so you can kind of see all of Sarah, Peyton, and Alana's worlds and kind of learn a little bit more about the life that our students live day to day. Wrapping up our session tonight, I just wanted to thank our students so much for their thoughts and being on this panel for you all. Their videos are on our website, so if you are interested in reminding yourself about the Leadership Institute or anything that they mentioned, as well as their other students at URI, there are 10 different segments. You can learn really a lot about the university, and we're hosting an additional panel towards the end of the month that's really focused on living at URI. So you'll be able to hear from one of our students that is an international student and that made URI her home away from home. You'll be able to hear from one of our students, Brian, who's been a native Rhode Islander for as long as he can remember and really just utilizes the state top to bottom. And then you'd also be able to hear from Emma, a student that came from California that really came because of our proximity to the beach and the local area. So feel free to tune into that session on March 30th. But we just want to thank you all so much for joining us tonight. Thank you to Sarah, Peyton, and Alana for allowing us to showcase your amazing video and answering some of our questions. But we hope you all have a great night. Feel free, I'll drop my email in the chat. So if anyone does have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. But thank you so much for joining us, and we hope you have a great night tonight, everyone.